Hey guys, today's episode is going to be a little different. We're going to talk about witches. Let's get into it. If you're familiar with Appalachia and Appalachian folklore, you might be familiar with granny witches. But if not, let's give a quick rundown. So, what is an Appalachian granny witch? Granny witches were folk healers and spiritual workers in the Appalachian Mountains. They use herbal remedies, charms, protective magic, and midwifery to help their communities. But here's what most history books leave out: Black women were a part of this tradition too. So, how did Black women help contribute to Appalachian granny witches? So, many enslaved and freed Black women brought hoodoo, root work, and African healing practices into the mountains. They worked with roots, herbs, and charms for protection and healing, just like the other granny witches. Black women were midwives, herbalists, spiritual workers, and they treated both Black and white families in their communities. Their remedies were often passed down orally, so their contributions aren't well documented. Carrying mojo bags, warding off spirits, and working with crossroads magic were all common in Black Appalachian communities, and many folk spells that granny witches used had African spiritual roots involved. So Black women weren't really known as granny witches or weren't given that same title because hoodoo and conjure were demonized, but they were doing the same type of work essentially. And the entire Appalachian magical tradition is a blend of African, indigenous, and European beliefs. Black families in Appalachia still practice root work, herbal healing, and protection magic, even if it isn't necessarily dubbed as granny witch magic. Appalachia is a beautiful place with a beautiful history and a beautiful blend of people. Let's not leave Black women out of that conversation. And as always, follow me on Instagram and YouTube under the same username at The Controversial Blonde.